ESPN and the National Football League killed it. Mike, this is, before we even get down to some of the political issues that are involved here, this is a great example of catch and kill. I mean, ESPN and the NFL know exactly what they're doing. They want to bury this guy. They buried him before. They blackballed him. They kept him out of the National Football League because of what he did. And it's still continuing to this day. Now his career is over, and now it's just secondary material that most people go, well, we don't care about Colin Kaepernick. You should. The guy stood up for something just like they did at the Olympics in 1968, and he was punished for it for the rest of his life.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. You know, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, American sprinters in 1968, raised their fists at the conclusion of the 200-meter medal ceremony. Well, during the national anthem, and they had black gloves on it, and it was the Black Power protest. And little side note, I did a story on the guy, the third man on the podium, Australian Peter Norman, who they told what they were going to do as they prettied up for the ceremony, and he wore an Olympic Human Rights Project thing on his back, and he supported him, and to the end of his life, they were his pallbearers. There's a white sprinter from South Africa. It's a great story, but the bottom line is, you're right. It was a protest, and whatever you thought about it, here's where I'm going to disagree with you. And
Sure.
Look, as a former employee of ESPN and somebody who was there for 3 years and worked for the Undefeated, the race culture sports site that became anscape.com, and they still put out great stuff, I will say that I have no problem taking down the network anytime they do something I don't like. I still harbor a grudge that my contract wasn't extended, but I also know that I know Spike Lee very well. In fact, I got Spike Lee to be, I guess this would put me in the woke category, but like I helped co-host a Hoops for Harris identity Zoom call last year, with another comedian named Alonzo Bowden. We raised a few million. I got Spike to be on the call because I'd known him since I would cover the Knicks for the New York Times. I haven't talked to Spike about this, but I can tell you that if Colin Kaepernick had final cut and he wanted it to be about Colin Kaepernick, and Spike Lee wanted it to be about the black athlete in America and use Colin Kaepernick as a prism into that as part of it, I can tell you Spike Lee didn't want to see the movie, the series that Colin Kaepernick did. And I think that was a lot. I think that was a much more about why that series died